Hello everyone. So this is our lecture 1, class 9th, subject English. This is the first topic of our grammar, that is sentences. So in this lecture we will learn what is the meaning of a sentence, what are its different types, and some topics related to sentences only. Learning objectives. So at the end of this lecture you will get to know the meaning of sentence and difference between sentence, phrase and clause. Then identify the types of sentences, use the correct end mark for each type of sentence, and you would be able to create your own examples for each type of sentence. Sentence. The sentence is generally defined as a word or a group of words that expresses a thorough idea by giving a statement or order, or asking a question or exclaiming. It begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop or a question mark or an exclamation mark. Examples of sentences are: he is playing in the garden. What a beautiful sight. What are you doing? For how long have you been working here? Are you standing in front of the door? So these are such examples of sentence which expresses a complete meaning when the words are arranged in an order that expresses a complete sense. Then we call it as a sentence. Now, what is a subject and predicate in a sentence? The subject of the sentence is what or whom the sentence is about. A predicate is the part of a sentence or a clause that tells what the subject is doing or what the subject is. For example, the cat is sleeping in the sun. Here we are talking about whom? The cat. So the cat will be our subject, and what has been told about the cat? That the cat is sleeping in the sun. So the cat is the subject, and whatever is being told about the subject is our predicate. Is sleeping in the sun will be our predicate in this sentence. Phrase. Now we will look the difference between phrase, clause and sentence. Phrases are groups of words that act as a part of speech but cannot stand alone as a sentence. So phrases are what? They are also group of words but they cannot stand alone. The words in a phrase act together so that the phrase itself functions as a single part of speech. That means phrase is also a group of words. The words act together so that it acts as a single part of speech, but they do not have sense, they do not have complete sense like a sentence. For example, phrases can function as nouns, verbs, adjectives or adverbs. Depending on their usage, they can be used as nouns, verbs, adjectives or adverbs in a sentence. Examples: running water. Is this a complete sentence? No. Totally delicious food. Is this a complete sentence? No. That means phrases are only group of words. They are part of speech but they cannot stand alone. They don't have their existence individually, or we can say they cannot be used without the usage of other words. If certain words are added to the phrase, then only they will have a complete sense, and also we can say that they are the part of a sentence only. Clause. Clauses are groups of words that have a subject and a predicate. Do phrases have a subject and a predicate? No. But clauses are group of words that have a subject and a predicate. Independent clauses expresses a complete thought and can stand alone as a sentence. see, there are two parts of clause, that is independent clause and subordinate clause. Independent clause is the clause that is, you can say, a substitute of a sentence only, right? It expresses a complete thought and can stand alone. But the subordinate clause can act as parts of speech but depend on the rest of the sentence to express a complete thought. For example, if I see the first two examples, I eat, she speaks. I eat, that is a independent clause. Complete meaning, I eat. She speaks, it is having a verb also. Subject and predicate is also there, right? So this is independent clause. But if I see the third example, every night before I go to bed, is this making any sense? Is this making a complete sense? No. That means some part needs to be added. This is your subordinate clause, which will be dependent on the dependent clause. So whatever the rest of the part of the sentence will be added, that will add complete sense to this particular clause. So phrase which cannot stand alone, clause, independent clauses can stand alone. They express a complete sense. For example, I eat, she speaks. A phrase cannot stand alone. A phrase cannot substitute a sentence. A phrase is just a part of a sentence only. If I talk about the clause, then subordinate clause, they also depend on the rest of the sentence to make it a complete thought, right? So this was the difference between sentence, phrase and clause. Now, characteristics of sentences. First, in written form, a sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a period, that is full stop, a note of interrogation or a note of exclamation, or we can say an exclamation mark. Second, it must express a complete thought, not fragmented. That means a sentence should express a complete thought. It does not express the fragmented or the segregated thoughts. Third, it must contain at least one subject, whether the subject is hidden or visible, and one verb comprising an independent clause. An independent clause contains an independent subject and verb and expresses a complete thought, that we have learned just now. Independent clause that can stand alone as a sentence. So a sentence must have a subject and one verb comprising an independent clause. Now let's see the different types of sentences. The first type we have is assertive or declarative sentences. A sentence that expresses a statement, states a fact, gives information about a topic or a person, and it does not need an answer. That is our assertive sentence. The end mark, that means after assertive or declarative sentence, we always use period, that is full stop. There are two types of assertive sentences. First, negative and affirmative. Examples: mammals are animals with fur. Assertive. Affirmative sentence. Then Rohan is not doing his work. Not, that is negative assertive. Then I am going swimming this Saturday. Again, affirmative assertive. Next type we have interrogative. Now what is an interrogative sentence? Interrogative sentences ask a question to find out something. And the end mark is the question mark here, right? So interrogative sentences are used to ask any type of question. Examples: are dolphins mammals? Which state is the biggest? Whose birthday party is on Saturday? And as you can see, the end mark here is the question mark only. So we need to make it sure that whenever we are making an interrogative sentence, whenever we are asking a question, we have to use this interrogative mark, that is the question mark. And if you notice, are, which, whose, these are what? The words which are used to frame interrogative sentences. Next type is exclamatory sentences. Exclamatory sentences expresses a strong feeling and the end mark is exclamation mark. So this is the exclamation mark which is used after the exclamatory sentences. Examples: what a game that was. I'm scared of tigers. I lost my dog. So the sentences which expresses a strong feeling, they are called exclamatory sentences, and in the end of exclamatory sentences we always use exclamation mark, right? No question mark, no full stop. Exclamation mark is being used after the exclamatory sentence. Next type is imperative sentence. What are imperative sentences? Imperative sentences gives commands, that is, tells someone what to do, also gives advice and also expresses a request. And the end mark we use after the imperative sentences period, that is full stop. Examples: get the flag quickly, do not do that. Get the flag quickly, command. Do not do that, advice. Please return to your seats, request, right? Next type of sentence we have, that is the last type, optative. Optative sentences express wish, desire or prayer. The end mark we use after the optative sentences is the exclamation mark. Example: wish you all the best. God save the world. May he achieve success. So these are the examples of optative sentences that expresses any kind of wish, desire or prayer, and the end mark we use after such sentences is the exclamation mark only. Now you must be wondering, then what is the difference between exclamatory sentences and optative sentences? See, exclamatory sentences expresses a strong feeling. Oh, he has lost the game. That is a sudden feeling. And this optative sentences expresses wishes. May he live long. All the best. Such wishes, desires or prayers are kept in one category, that is optative sentences. So do not get confused between exclamatory sentences and optative sentences. Whenever any wish or desire is being expressed, that will be the optative sentence. Whenever a strong feeling is expressed, that will be the exclamatory sentence, and in the end of both type of sentences we use exclamation mark only. Now you have your homework for today. Revise sentences and their types and solve the questions. The first question is, identify the type of sentence in each case. You read sentences, meaning and their types. Now you have to read the following sentences and you have to tell the type of sentence in each case. First, my wife loves eating cake in the morning. Second, that movie was exciting. Third, please leave your shoes outside. Fourth, how often do you read this article? Fifth, students failed to complete their essays on time. Sixth, may the Almighty help in this tragedy. Next question, identify the phrases in the following sentences. Now, recall what is a phrase, clause and sentence and read the sentences, and then you have to identify the phrase in the following sentences. First, he was a man of great wealth. Second, the principal was an old man of friendly disposition. Third, the workers belonged to a tribe dwelling in the hills. Fourth, he met a boy with red hair. 5. You can buy it in all places. 6. He replied in a very rude manner. 7th, how does he live without any worries? So you have to solve these questions in your English practice notebook. You don't have to do these questions in your fair notebook. You will be solving these questions in your English practice notebook only, right? Mention the date, topic, homework on the right side of the page. Then note down the questions and their answers, and then check your answers when I'll be discussing with you in the next lecture. Fine. So you have to do this work in your English practice notebook. Go through the chapter first, that is sentence, meaning, its type, difference between phrase, clause and sentence, and then solve these two questions.